In the horrors of the present tense, believe only half of what you see, and none of what they said. That was an excerpt from the new Poppy album, Empty Hands. As many of you may know, we review protest music, revolutionary music, looking at the lyrics to see how they pertain to the culture of resistance. However, albums like Empty Hands here don't really lend themselves to a straightforward interpretation, and not every song pertains to the culture of resistance, so we will be skipping those songs. But this album is very similar to Poppy's last album, Negative Spaces, an album that I absolutely love. It was one of my favorite albums of that year, and I still return to it quite often. Songs like Have You Had Enough, They're All Around Us, and even Push Go would all be songs that I would review with the culture in mind, despite it not overtly being a protest album. And really, Empty Hands is in a very similar boat, so we will again look at the lyrics and see what it has to offer. And of course, guys, definitely like and subscribe if you like the vibe. Check out the Patreon if you feel like it. But most importantly, definitely check out some of our other reviews of protest music, revolutionary music, especially if you are in the market for some music to help you get through the bullshit of these trying times that we are living in. Anyways, looking at the first track from this album, we have the song Public Domain, which deals with the gravity of a really bad situation and a mess that someone else made. Someone who lies, someone who has a particular condition, someone with really ignorant opinions, and whatever it is, it's tested in the pre-chorus, which goes, can you bottle it? Can you sell it for food? Can you sleep with it? Tell me who's using who? Is what you're doing valuable? Does it have substance? Can it be commoditized? Can it be profitable? Are you getting something out of it, or are you the product? I don't really know what I'm trying to say there, but sounds good. And the ending of that pre-chorus is also very interesting, saying, isn't it peculiar how the chatter fails to offer any solace in the light of the truth? Essentially saying that talk is cheap, that the truth can be revealed, and people can talk about it, people could tweet about it, talk about it in real life, but nothing is ever actually done about it. There's no tangible action, which brings to mind the Epstein list, hashtag never forget. And there's another line in the next verse kind of serving as a warning, saying to stay away from the fences. Because if you're someone that's on the fence, you don't really have a strong opinion either way. And that tends to be where the masochist or the nihilist is sitting, because they either enjoy what's happening, they like watching other people suffer, or they just don't really care. And it's just another reason why this reality is getting way too bizarre, which is a line that unfortunately becomes more factual by the day. There's another line later on talking about how evil is working overtime, and there's another open-ended question talking about how do we fix this mess. And at the end, Poppy's talking about a rather gloom future, wondering if by the time that future becomes the present, if she won't just be numb to everything that's happening. And the last line of the song, which is actually how we open the video, in the horrors of the present tense, believe only half of what you see and none of what they said. That's a pretty poignant line given the current times. Two sets of people with two very different political ideologies watching the same footage and coming to two very different conclusions, and yet those at the top just continue to lie about it. Anyways, going on to the second track, Bruised Sky. This one's about an oppressor, someone who lies and manipulates, someone that wants to tell you this is as good as it's gonna get, but you insist on resolving the issue, resisting the prophecy. There's also a line about how do I numb myself when God is preying on the weak, which I translate to how can I sit here being brain rotted by TikTok when there's horrible things happening out in the streets. And there's another interesting line, instill the fear to fall, but it'll never work on me, question everything, because standing up and speaking out does come with inherent risks, but sometimes it's the illusion of power, it's the illusion of fear that keeps the people in check. Therefore, you should always question everything, including authority, including the power of those who seek to control you. So that's my macro interpretation of the song, but there is a micro level interpretation as well. Because when it comes to the pre-chorus, which says, the moon is awake tonight, I'm collecting the names under the bruised sky, I take this to mean a few different things, but the moon is often attributed as being feminine, and then collecting the names under the bruised and battered sky kind of makes me think that this song is hinting looking at domestic violence or even just violence against women in general, especially when it comes to the outro of the song, where it's all about exposing those who have committed an act, putting everything under the light of the moon and exposing them for who they really are. Again, hashtag Epstein Files. The next track, Dying to Forget, is really about having no mercy for the lazy. Is there a problem you refuse to face? Did you never take a risk? Were you born a quitter? Well, Poppy has some choice words for you. Like the line that's very similar from Hamilton, you stood for nothing, so you fell for everything. So don't let the guilt follow you on the way out. Don't be consumed by the shame of your inaction. You should actually stand for something because Poppy is sick of your shit and she's about to cut your fucking brake lines. Anyways, the next track, Time Will Tell, is again about exposing people for who they really are. There's also a couple of really good questions, like why are all the ruins in your wake? And why were all of my heroes forced to stop? Now again, interjecting my own bias here, but just thinking of all the activists, all the people that made a stand, all of the freedom fighters that were cut short either by removal of their life or some other means. And the next track, Eat the Hate, is sort of flipping the table on the internet comment section, where she's eating the hate, just getting off on all the negativity, because she knows that no matter what she does, people will always find a reason to criticize her. So therefore it doesn't matter how you respond, what you do, there's always someone on the internet saying some bullshit stuff and they will always find something to ridicule. So it's best to just gobble that shit up and move on. Which brings us to the final track on the album, the title track, Empty Hands. Now again, injecting a little bit of bias in here, but this song could be about how those in power, those with the wealth, ultimately may lead a life of indifference, and yet when their life comes to its inevitable conclusion, all that wealth, all of those possessions cannot be taken with them. Unless you're an Egyptian, but I guess that's a different story. But no, at the end of your life, you cannot carry what you stole. And you can't be spared from hell's routine. And if you do return, like you're reincarnated or you come back some other way, you will do so with empty hands. And that concludes the review of this new album from Poppy, Empty Hands. If I could only recommend one song from the album, it would definitely be the first one, Public Domain. It seems like it has the most to say in terms of how it relates to the culture of resistance. And speaking of the culture of resistance, so really, again, not every song on this album really fits the message, fits the theme, but it doesn't exactly have nothing to say either. So in terms of scoring, I really didn't think I was going to give a score, but I'm feeling like a 78 or just like a mid-tier C, which again isn't bad. That's not a representation of the actual album quality itself. It's just a score on how much this album contributes to the culture of resistance. Again, it's not overtly a protest album, but it does have a few things to say. There's just not a whole lot of it. There's not a particularly strong message outside of Public Domain, and maybe even a little bit of Bluesky. And again, friendly reminder to definitely check out her previous album, Negative Spaces, which again is just a fantastic album. And definitely check out this album. Let me know if you guys have heard this album. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Let me know what you thought about this review, and let me know what artist or album you want to see me review in the future. And until then, guys, like and subscribe if you like the vibe. Check out the Patreon. Check out some of those other reviews. Don't mind that weird noise that my furnace keeps making. And until then, guys, we will see you on the next video. Stay well, stay safe, stay informed, and we will see you then. Later.